indicative of, I think, the change we're seeing at the plantation museums and tourist sites, which is there's a desire for a more messy narrative, a more complete narrative. Maybe not the full thing straight on how
Hmm.
bad it was, but more inclusive. The fact that there is that desire for more inclusiveness, particularly in the younger generation, suggests exposure to people of different ethnic and racial backgrounds on television and music, etc. And so being able to have that in the history and be able to say, yeah, that's part of our history. Was it great? No. Is it pretty bad? Yeah. Is there explanations for it? Sure, we can try to understand it, but it's not something we want to repeat. And we
Hmm.
definitely don't want to repeat that part of our history. So therefore, let's learn about it, learn from the mistakes, and move forward. That's the conversation that should be having right now. And the fact that I consider this somewhat positive, the fact that people caught this, there was a backlash, and there is people fixing it. I've yet to hear comments from anyone out there saying, no, 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 this is exactly what happened. They were migrant workers. They actually, got a little card. They got a green card. They jumped on a boat or jumped on an airplane, came over here, and they
Yeah.
were working for, lower wages than expected. But hey, they were hoping to get their piece of the American pie and stuff. I don't hear anyone defending that position, which is also a positive. So I guess I'm thinking of it in that glass half full
You
rather
do
than
you,
glass half empty,
Dr. Butler,
but problematic
you
nevertheless.
you don't go on social media much, do you?
No, I'm kind of busy doing research. Why?
Because there are quite a few people who are defending this position. But I could agree with you that I don't think anyone of substance, I've yet to hear anyone of substance to defend this position. So in that regard, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, are we talking about like 10% of the people or 5% of the comments that are defending this?
Oh, I can't even give you an anecdote, but just I would say 5% is 5% too many. That's how I would spend that.
Yeah, I could find a crazy person that could talk about anything crazy out there. So
Hmm.
that's the democracy of social media. Everyone gets even the crazies get voices. So, nevertheless, that is so I do consider it a positive thing, and hopefully, this will teach every publisher in the future that this is a real issue that needs to be confronted, and don't be foolish to rush something to production that has such a glaring error in it.
Hmm.
And I think others will learn from that mistake and move forward. So that's good. Regarding the research, I am pleased. I think that the generations coming up, the generation X's and Y's, et cetera, that have been exposed to various cultures and ethnicities and stuff, are changing. And I think the United States culture is being more embracive, more inclusive than it ever has before. And that's positive because it is actually white people, 97% of the people visiting these plantations, only 3% African Americans. Those are the people that are demanding the more messy narrative. So it's not all of a sudden, these African Americans are out there, in 50% numbers saying, "Hey, we want to see change here." No, I mean they're not going because African Americans, for the most part, see plantations as places of negativity. I mean, that's where people were enslaved and
Hmm.
killed and all that. They don't want to go look at furniture and give this Gone with the Wind story. That's why the National Civil Rights Museum is there. Success. That's where victory is had. That's where you go. You don't go to a plantation where things were all crummy and nasty and people were killed and stuff. And so it's a different place. However, as the dialogue changes and it is more inclusive and it is more truthful to what happened, I think the demographics will also change. So I think all those are sort of mixing. And so the movie they're using a narrative, and the movie is moving from the Gone with the Wind dominant narrative, and I think eventually Django and other movies that are coming out will be sort of the dominant media that people think of when they go to these sites, and that's going to force them economically to survive to change their narratives and stories and what they present.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been joined this morning and into this afternoon with by Dr. David Butler. His research on plantations, on cultural appropriation, the museum effect, but particularly the focus on plantations and how they have evolved from a narrative consistent with Gone with the Wind to evolving into something that's looking at the more realistic interpretation of what happened during slavery. Thank you, Dr. Butler, for joining us this morning and now this afternoon. And we'll have you back whenever we can get a chance to discuss more of issues that definitely intersect with your research.
Oh, great, Brandon. I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate the people that threw out questions in the audience. And I hope this is interesting everyone, and I don't expect everyone to agree with everything that I said, but I'm hoping that some of the stuff that I highlighted would definitely get people thinking and dialoguing in a positive direction on these critical issues.
Yeah, definitely. You can count on, I'll send you the link to the YouTube channel. You can count on seeing some dissenting voices, because no matter what is said, there's going to be a plethora of people who disagree with you. So I'll send you the link to that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dr. David Butler. I want to thank him for being with me this morning for this interview episode of the Benjamin Dixon Show. And so one other thing I want to share with you guys, next Tuesday, we are doing another hangout for the Democratic debate that's coming up next Tuesday on the 13th. I want you guys to be here. I'll send out invitations. It will begin at 8 p.m. We're just going to have fun like we did last time. We're going to have a couple of guests. We'll discuss whatever they discussed on commercials. If you were here last time, you remember how much fun it was. So we want you to be there for that. Of course, be here tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock for our regularly scheduled show, and go to the BenjaminDixonShow.com and sign up for our blog. Click on the Contact Us tab and sign up for our blog. Dr. Butler, again, thank you so much for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time.
And until that moment comes, when we, the Americans, are able to accept the fact that on that continent we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other, that I am not a ward of America. I am one of the people who built the country. Until this moment.
That we are brothers. It's not a question of Jews or Christians or Muslims. We're all in the same boat.
We need each other.
Love is a condition so powerful. It may be that which holds the stars in the firmament.
Until this moment.
Love.
Until this moment.
Love.
Until this moment.
I come to you today to say that we can build a newer and better nation. I say we can do so, that we must do so, and that we will do so.
You've tuned in to The Benjamin Dixon Show. Visit us online at www.thebenjamindixonshow.com.